Well done, Gilbert, quoth Robin Hood, smiting him upon the shoulder. I make my vow, thou art one of the best archers that ever mine eyes beheld. Thou shouldest be a free and merry ranger like us, lad, for thou art better fitted for the greenwood than for the cobblestone and grey walls of London town. So saying, he took his place and drew a fair, round arrow from his quiver, which he turned over and over ere he fitted it into his bowstring. Then the king muttered in his beard, Now, blessed Saint Hubert, if thou wilt but jog that rude elbow, so as to make him smithen ever the second ring, I will give 80 waxen candles, 3 fingers' breadth in thickness, to thy chapel night matching. But it may be Saint Hubert's ears were stuffed with straw, for he seemed not to hear the king's prayer this day. Having gotten 3 staffs to his liking, merry Robin Hood looked carefully to his bowstring ere he shot. Yea, quoth he to Gilbert, whom stood nigh him to watch his shooting, you should pay us a visit at merry Sherwood. Here he drew his bowstring to his ear. In London, here he loosened his staff, thou canst find naught to shoot at but rocks and draws. There one can tickle the ribs of the nobles' stanch in England. So he shot even while he talked, yet the staff lodged not more than half an inch from the very centre. By my soul, cried Gilbert, art thou the devil in blue, to shoot in that wise? Nay, quoth Robin, laughing, not quiver so ill as that, I trust. And he took up another staff and fitted it to the string. Again he shot, and again he smote his arrow close beside the centre. A 3rd time he loosened his bowstring and dropped his arrow just betwixt the other 2 and into the very centre, so that the feathers of all the 3 that were ruffled together, seeming from a distance to be one thick staff. And now a long murmur ran all along the great crowd, for never before had London seen such shooting as this, and never again would it see it after Robin's days had gone. All saw that the king's archers were fairly beaten, and stout Gilbert clapped his palm to Robin's, owing that he could never hope to draw such a bowstring as Robin Hood or Little John. But the king, full of wrath, would not have it so, though he knew it in his mind that his men could not stand against these fellows. Nay, cried he, clenching his hands upon his arms of the seat, Gilbert is not yet beaten. Did he not strike the cloud thrice? Although I have lost my wager, he hath not yet lost the first prize. They shall shoot again, and still again, till either he or the knave Robin Hood cometh off the best. Go through, Sir Hugh, and bid them shot another round, and another, until one or the other is overcome. Then Sir Hugh, seeing how wroth the king was, said never a word, but went straight away to his bidding. So he came to where Robin Hood and the others stood, and told them what the king had said. With all my heart, quoth merry Robin, I will shoot from this time till tomorrow day, if I can please my most gracious lord and king. Take thy place, Gilbert lad, and shoot. So Gilbert took his place once more, but this time he failed, for a sudden little wind arose, his staff missed the centre ring, but by not more than the breadth of a barley straw. Thy eggs are cracked, Gilbert, quoth Robin, laughing. And straightway he loosened a staff, and once more smoothed the white circle of the centre. Then the king arose from his place. Not a word he said, but he looked around with a baleful look, and it would have been ill and day for anyone that he saw with a joyous or a merry look upon his face. Then he and his queen and all the court left the place, but the king's heart was brimming full of wrath. After the king had gone, all the yeomen of the archer guard came crowding around Robin and Little John and Will and Ellen to snatch a look at these famous fellows from the mid-country. With them came many that had been onlookers at the sport for the same purpose. It happened presently that the yeomen, to whom Gilbert stood talking, were all surrounded by a crowd of people that formed a ring about them. After a while, these 3 judges that had been given the prizes away of the prizes came forward, and the chief of them spake to Robin and said, According to agreement, the first prize belongeth rightly to thee. So here I give thee the silver budgel, here the quiver of 10 golden arrows, and here a purse of 20 golden pounds. And as he spake, he handed those things to Robin, and then turned to Little John. To thee, he said, belongeth the second prize, to wit, 50 of the finest hearts that run on Dellen Lear. Thou mayst shoot them whomsoever dost list. Last of all he turned to stout Hubert. Thou, said he, hast held thine own against the yeoman with whom thou didst shot, and so thou hast kept the prize duly thine, to wit 2 turns of good Rhenish wine. These shall be delivered to thee whensoever thou doest list. Then he called upon the other 7 of the king's archers who had last shot, and gave each 40 silver pennies. Then up spake Robin, and quoth he, This silver budgel I keep in honour of this shooting match, but thou, Gilbert, art the best archer of all the king's guards, and to thee I freely give this purse of gold. Take it, man, and would it were 10 times as much, for thou art a right yeoman, good and true. Furthermore, to each of the 10 that last shot I give 1 of these golden staffs apiece. Keep them always by you, so that ye may tell your grandchildren, and ye are ever blessed with them, that ye are the very stoutest yeomen in all the wide world. At this all shouted aloud, for it pleased them to hear Robin speak so of them. Then up spake Little John. Good friend Tempest, said he, I want not those hearts of Dellen Lear, that yon stout judge spoke of but now, for in truth we have a no, and more than a no in our own country. 20 I give to thee for thine own shooting, and 5 I give to each of the band for their pleasure. At this another great shout went up, and many tossed their caps aloft, and swore among themselves that no better fellow ever walked to sod than Robin Hood and his stout yeoman. While they so shouted with loud voices, a tall burly yeoman of the king's guard came forward, and plucked Robin by the sleeves. Good master, quoth he, I have somewhat to tell thee in thy ear, a silly thing, good words, for one stout yeoman to tell another, but a young peacock of a page, one Richard Partington, was seeking thee without avail in the crowd, and, not being able to find thee, told me that he bore a message to thee from a certain lady that thou wouldest of. This message he bade me tell thee privately, word for word, and thus it was. Let me see, I trust I have forgotten it not. Yea, thus it was. The lion growls, beware thy head. Is it so? Quoth Robin, starting. For he knew right well that it was the Queen sent the message, and that she spake of the King's wrath. Now, I thank thee, good fellow, for thou hast done me great service, that thou knowest of this day. Then he called his 3 yeomen together and told them privately that they had best to be jogging, as it was like to be ill for them so nigh merry London town. So without trying longer, they made their way through the crowd until they had come out from the press. Then without stopping, they left London town and started away northward.